Hi, this is Judy,
And Erling with Travel Trail Sail.
and we're at First Landing State Park in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
We are hanging out on the beach. The Chesapeake is right behind us and it's a gorgeous day. We've been walking around checking out the campground and all the amenities that this beautiful state park has to offer.
Whether you love water sports, spending the day at the beach, walking trails, or biking, this is a great state park for you.
Absolutely. We took a little bit of the day and walked on a trail. It was kind of through a swampy area with cypress trees. And now we walked through the campground and we're on the beach. Highly recommend it. It's a great way to spend the day out in nature in an otherwise pretty urban area.
Yeah, so come along with us and join our tour of First Landing State Park. So First Landing State Park is Virginia's most visited state park, so it can get very busy, so also difficult to get into, so plan ahead, reserve early. There are over 200 sites here. Again, many of them are for tent camping, but you may find that some of the sites are more level than others, so you'll definitely want to know exactly what kind of site you're getting when you reserve, and we'll try and show you some of those on our walk here. Some sites are more level than others. Some say they're 50 feet, but they don't quite look like 50 feet, so you'll definitely want to know the site you're getting when you reserve.
Here's an example of a back-end site, and you can see it's gravel. I wouldn't say it's especially level. The picnic table back in the corner is on a hill, so it's very unlevel. You do have water and electricity here and a fire ring, but side to side as well as front to back, you'll probably be doing some leveling. I saw one camper that actually had 8 or 10 stabilizer blocks underneath, just trying to level it out on the big hill that it was on. Each site though does say how long the site it is. Some of these are 20 feet site, some are 50.
And there are some 30 too. That's, I guess, your three choices: 20, 30, or 50.
Just trying to give you a sample of some of the sites here. And here's another back-end site. And again, you can see the picnic table is kind of unlevel. Site is even though they're gravel sites, they're actually very sandy. So I don't know if that would cause a problem for your rig. We might fit in that one.
That's a nice.
That one is site 191, and It's listed as 50 feet. Let's take a walk back in here, and here we've got a picnic table kind of off to the side, fire ring, and water and electricity. Now, even though these are wooded sites, it's actually wooded around the sites, but none of the trees are super tall on these ones right along the beach. It's more maybe 20 feet, but above your camper will actually probably be open to the sky.
I think that's a good site. 191. Rita, can you remember that? Don't tell anyone though, okay?
No, it's top secret.
So I think all the sites though give you nice privacy.
There is a lot of vegetation in between the sites, so even though you may not have trees going up and above your site, between the sites is very private. The roads as you drive to your site, it is a narrow one-lane road. That was site number 188, 50 feet, reasonably level.
Not quite as wooded, but pretty nice.
I'm going to walk up here and just check out. This is an example of a 20-foot site, number 184. And this one actually has trees growing up over the site, and it's 20 feet deep.
Have to be careful with the roof of your camper.
There are some that consider pull-through sites. I'm going to walk through this one. It's considered a pull-through. It's just a little bit off to the side of the main road. You wouldn't want a real long camper here. And then next to it is your picnic table.
I do have to say though, this is a very odd site because I would feel like I am parked in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's almost on the road, and
yeah, it's very odd.
You know, it kind of reminds me almost of the site we had at Westmoreland when we first started camping, where it was just these curves of street just off the main street. They aren't bad, they're just a little more exposed than the ones that are back in the woods.
Yeah. I guess it's different when, say, the whole park is like that versus here. Like, I think that's the only site that's quite like that.
Yeah.
That you feel like you're in the middle of the road.
So no really big long pull-throughs for a big rig. I think this campground is more suited if you had a camper 25 feet or shorter, probably. Pop-ups, tents. Big one coming down the road here, so I'm just going to step off the path, I think. Maybe I'll come into this campsite across here so you can see how steep it is. We're heading into a deep campsite, but boy, you would be at an angle on this one on a hill. And we got power pedestal and water. Fire ring here at the back of the site. And a picnic table. It is nice, most of the sites are at an angle. I did see a couple that were 90 degrees, but here's a smaller back end site. Again, real sandy. This one coming up looks like it might be a nice site. Real deep. And a little bit unlevel front to back. You would definitely have to level, but it seems reasonably level side to side. Deep sight, water and electric are all the way at the back of the site, so if you connect at the front of your camper, make sure you have long enough hoses. But a pretty nice site there, and that is one of the 50 footers. That one is site 171. Alright, this is site 165. It is a 50 footer. It enters at an angle, so backing should be relatively easy. We've got our water and electric towards the back. Very sandy, but the front part of the site is more gravelly. It's fairly wide. Again, kind of open to the sky above this one. Could be a decent site for somebody. Well, at 3 places in this campground, there are ways to get to the beach, which is nice. There are also several places where they have yurts. If you're not familiar with a yurt, it is a round tent, and Virginia State Parks have these available. So this is a pretty neat yurt, and you can see there are some plastic Adirondack chairs there, and you'd have a great view of the water from this yurt. So there are places along the campground where you can access the beach. In this case, there's 3 of them, and they're named after the 3 ships that the original Jamestown settlers came on. And you can see it's a nice wooden boardwalk. You're able to walk from your campsite and get out onto the beach.
So that brings me to a great question.
What's your question, Judy?
The question is, why is this state park named First Landing?
Ooh. I don't
Anybody
know.
know?
I don't know. That's a great question. Why is it named First Landing?
You don't know? Oh, come on.
Okay, so
He knows. Come on, tell us early.
So we visited on earlier blog posts and stuff. We've been to Jamestown and places like that. The 3 ships that came sailing from England in 1607 stopped here. This was the first place they landed in North America. And they were looking for a place to land the colonists. But they needed a place that had a place to be able to put forts on both sides. And this didn't have that defense on 2 sides thing. So they kept going up the James until they eventually landed on Jamestown.
So it's kind of neat, though, to think you could camp here right on the Chesapeake Bay, and also camp in an area of American history.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So First Landing's located in Virginia Beach, which is close to a lot of sites in the southeastern Virginia area. So it'd be a nice place to camp and then take a day trip, say, to Williamsburg or Busch Gardens. There's lots to do in Virginia Beach too.
Obviously you have the ocean. It's Virginia Beach because there's really nice beaches. But, in addition to that, Atlantic Street is a pretty interesting touristy kind of place. A lot of things to do there.
Since this campground is on the Chesapeake Bay, it's relatively calm. So I would say it would be a great place to bring your kayaks or paddle boards, or even if you had like a little laser sailboat. This would be a nice area to have fun with those on the water. The other thing I would say you'd want to bring if you're camping here are bicycles. There's a great paved bike trail. It's about 12 miles round trip. And the park also, in total, offers about 20 miles of trails for hiking and biking. The only thing is you have to cross a busy street to get to those, but it's worth it. Very nice trails, and a lot of trails to choose from.
One thing, Judy, I've observed as we're walking around is that this is a large campground. Now, a lot of the sites are tent sites, but it is a big campground, and I think bringing bicycles just to get around the campground probably be a good idea, but be careful because the roads are a little narrow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use this as the Susan Constant beach landing. We're going to walk across here and head out onto the beach. Nice long boardwalk.
Yeah.
We're getting close. I see the ocean, or Chesapeake Bay, but feels like the ocean.
Rita's getting excited, I can tell.
She loves that water.
Like a true lab.
Ooh, we're coming up on the sand. Lots of neat beach grasses, some flowers, wildflowers mixed in. Thanks for joining us on our tour of First Landing State Park in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
We hope you enjoyed it, learned a few things about this beautiful state park, and we would highly recommend adding it to your bucket list to come check out.
Whether you want to come for a day or stay for a week, there's a ton to do here at First Landing. So if you want more details, go ahead and check us out at traveltrailsail.com. And if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and see you next time.